In the recent video about installing an app on a smartphone, in fact this black view, I used as an example Google Earth. Now you can install Google Earth. Have a look at the video if you don't know how to install an app. The link's on the screen now. But you can get this app for an Android phone, which this is, or an iPhone. You can also put it onto an iPad. I can put it onto an Android tablet, and you can also do it on a computer. So I'm going to open that Google Earth app, and there it is, a view of the world. Now I'll get into this in a minute, but I want to show you some particular things. I use this to help people learn how to use a smartphone, because you can do all this. Look, we can make the Earth spin by swiping it. If we do that gesture with our fingers, we can make it larger or smaller. We can even turn it upside down with that gesture. So, and we can zoom right in and explore the world. So that's how it can help you learn the gestures on a smartphone. But Google Earth is particularly useful at this present time, May 2020, when we're all locked down at home. We can use Google Earth to go on a virtual tour of the world. Now this is Google Earth on my iPad. All the same stuff. Zoom in and out with finger gestures. And there's a few other things. If you look down the left hand side, there are menu items. I'll explain them in a moment. And on the right hand side, there are more menu items. So that's it on an iPod. I'm going to go to a computer now, and it's all exactly the same. It's just easier for me to record the screen on a computer. Okay, now we're looking at Google Earth on a computer, and it's almost identical to how you would do it on a smartphone or a tablet. Except in a computer, you don't have to download anything. It's a website. So we would get there by running a search for Google Earth. And you can use any, you don't have to use Google. You could use Bing or any search engine to find Google Earth. And there it is. We click on it. And here we are. Up here on the top right hand side, it says Launch Earth. So let's go. And here it is. Now, I showed you how we used the dragging our finger to spin the Earth on a computer. I left click and drag in various ways to affect movement of the Earth. So let's visit somewhere, and I fancy Paris. So if you know your geography, it's a bit cloudy, you could navigate there in this fashion. I think there it is there. So we could zoom right in using the plus button or the mouse wheel. But I'm going to use this search icon over on the left hand side. Now those icons down the left hand side on a computer are at the top on a smartphone and on the left hand side on a tablet. But wherever they are, you'll find them. So I'm going to search for Paris, and it's taking us there. And there it is. Now, we've got this knowledge card, it's called, which tells us a little bit about the place. And at the bottom, we also have points of interest in Paris. So let's see, Eiffel Tower. If I use that paper aeroplane, it'll fly us there. Let's go. And there's the Eiffel Tower. Now on this knowledge card here, we've got these two little icons here, so we can go to the next knowledge card, and it's suggesting we visit the Louvre. So let's paper aeroplane fly there. And there you go. Now let's close down the knowledge card so we get a better view. Now it's switched to a 2D view. So if we look down here on the bottom, we've got this button 3D, which is much more interesting, and we can explore, we can zoom in and out. And something we can't do on a computer that we do on a smartphone or a tablet, we can't use our thumb and forefinger to rotate. So how we do that on the computer is we hold down Control and we sort of do that sort of motion. Now, down on the bottom with these icons we have a compass and it's telling us which way is north. If we click on it or press on it, it will realign the view so that north is at the top. The little person icon here, I'll show you that shortly. And the final icon represents if you've let Google know your current location, you can fly to that location. But we've spent a lot of time in the house and we don't want to fly back there yet. Let's stay in Paris and perhaps go somewhere else in the world. Actually, let's go somewhere else. So these icons over on the top left hand side, I told you about the search. The next one down is called Voyager, and it presents us with some places that we could go visit. So it's scrolling through them, we can scroll faster. Let's click on this one and go to Hope Spot Cocos Island. I don't know how you pronounce it, but let's go. Now, I've never visited this island before and I know nothing about it, but these hotspots around will tell you more about the place. And this one's brought us to a video. Let's have a look. So quite apart from a nice virtual holiday, we can learn stuff as well. So that's the Voyager part of Google Earth. Now the next icon, this thing looks a little bit like a dice. It's a throw of a dice and you go somewhere random. So let's try it. We're going to, I don't know how you pronounce that, but here we are. And it'll tell us what it is. It's in Vietnam. Let's throw the dice again. District 12. In China, it seems. Okay, we could explore there. Let's throw the dice one more time. And it's brought us to Mont Altissimo di Nago, sorry. Never been there before. But interestingly, it's in Italy. And we can go to zoom in and check that out. Now, we're going to be going to Italy in a few moments' time, and I'll tell you about that shortly. The next icon down, projects, I'll get into that on a later video. So it's interesting stuff, but we're here to have fun, so let's go somewhere else. Now, I fancy Italy now. And why Italy, you might say? Well, for many years, I went to a conference hosted by Monash University, an Australian university, who had an outpost in Prato in Tuscany. And it was placed in the beautiful old town of Prato. So let's go and have a look at that. Again, we get the knowledge card telling us about it. And there we are in Prato. Actually, let's run a search for the university. And there it is. And it's brought us directly there. Let's close down this knowledge card. And let's go back to 3D view. And yeah. Now, because I've been there so many times, I recognize the place. But here's a really cool feature. I'm going to drop down into this square using this icon. And here we are in the town square, one of several actually. Now, because I've visited this place so many times, I can recognize, I can actually walk around the streets and go to places I know. I've dined in that restaurant. I could take you to some of the hotels I've stayed in. There's one just behind this castle-like structure. It's so very familiar. So it's great to go to places you've never been before, but it's also nice to go to places you know. And I could take you through the streets and show you some of the hotels I've stayed at. Let's go to one now. It's down, I believe it's down this street here. Yeah, and I recognise that sculpture there in the square. And there's the Hotel San Marco. And across the square is a really nice bar. Now, just up that little side street there, there's a lovely little park, so I'm going to take you there now. And here we are in the Piazza Mercatale in Prato, and there's up the road there's a restaurant I've been, and there's a lovely one here on the right hand side. So you see how we can go and visit places we've never been before and learn about them, and we can go to places we're familiar with and explore them virtually. Maybe not as good as being there, but it's a close second, I think. Particularly if it's a beautiful place like this. So that's the kind of thing you can do in Google Earth. So from me, Steve Thompson, it's bon voyage and enjoy.